Hi, everyone. I'm Thea Sullivan, and I want to thank you for watching this video. It's going to be the first in a series of what I'm calling my intuition update. Um, and that just means thoughts I'm having in the moment about the topic of intuition and kind of what we're doing here. And here's what's occurring to me to talk about today. As you all know, if you've been following astrology, if you've been listening to sort of the buzz in the spiritual community, or even if you just follow world events, you know that there are a lot of shifts going on. And in fact, a lot of shifts that seem to be increasing, accelerating, and you may be feeling a lot of shifts in your own life, in your inner landscape, in your outer world. It's just a time of intense change. So the question on my mind is, what is going to keep us feeling steady, feeling safe, feeling even happy right now in the midst of all of that? And that's not to say we need to feel happy. I feel really strongly that the spiritual path is not about always feeling a certain way. It's about showing up for what's going on for us with love and compassion and presence, and riding the waves of our human experience as authentically as we can. But of course, we all would love to feel that inner sort of upwelling of joy, of peace, of alignment when we can. And I do have some things to say about how we can get to that place more and more. And this is because of my work with my own guides over so many years that I have not only had the gift of experiencing that more and more as I've gone on in my life, but also just received a lot of teachings around that I want to share with you. And that's why I'm making these videos and why I've created my Facebook group, The Intuitive Way. So what can really help us feel steady? What can really help us feel aligned right now? And for me, the answer is what I'm calling a oneness mindset. So what does that mean? Another way to talk about it is a soul perspective. The guides talk about this all the time, and in fact, it's really their, what do I want to say, their intention in all the readings that I do for clients over and over again. The message of the guides is, remember who you are. Remember that you're a soul. Remember that you chose to be here, that you're not just this human that you're sort of acting as in this lifetime. Don't forget, or I should say, remember that you're a noble being, a timeless soul, a master. If you're watching this, in all likelihood, you are a master soul. That means you've evolved as a soul to the point where you consciously seek out spiritual advancement. That's a sign of a master soul. So that means that everything that's in your life is something that you chose as a soul to experience. And this can be really a hard pill to swallow when we're in pain or when we're suffering or when we see others suffering. We can really resist this truth. And the reason why we resist it is because we're still in a mindset of duality. And of course, because we have a human nervous system and we have human emotions, and it hurts sometimes to suffer, to witness other people suffering, or to feel frustrated, or to feel like we don't have control over all the circumstances in our lives. I'll be talking in future videos about what we do and don't have control over, where our power lies, and where it doesn't. But I want to get back to this idea of a oneness mindset. What is that? So that's the ability to walk through your day and to remember some of the time that you're a timeless soul, and that everything that's happening, while it feels really real, and it is real on its own level of reality, the guides tell us, not to denigrate it, is not the ultimate reality. And over time, if we remind ourselves this, and if we can return more and more to this place of awareness, this soul perspective, we can start to feel that almost emotional through line of peace. That, what I think it was Jesus who called it the peace that passes all understanding. We can start to tap into that. And what that peace is, in my experience, is that timeless awareness. It's that sort of internal set point where we're connected to our higher self, where we're connected to our soul, and we don't have to be afraid in the same way. We get to sort of transcend some of the fears, the danger. We know we might experience hard and scary things in our human lives, but we know that that's not the realist reality. We know we'll live on beyond anything that happens. We know that we're these eternal beings. It's really the witness place. That's what the oneness mindset is. It's being able to reside in that witness place. I used to think the witness place was sort of a cold place, sort of a nothingness place, and that's not my experience at all. Now that I spend more time there, I can say it feels very warm, very welcoming, very comfortable, very soft. It's a really it's a really nice place to hang out, and it doesn't mean turning our blind eye to the suffering of the world or to what needs to be done. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a place of neutrality and love from which we are free to serve in whatever way we are moved to do. So, in I used to be well, I'm still a writer, but I used to also teach writing. And when you talk about literature, oftentimes we talk about suspending our disbelief, right? Like we read a novel, and maybe the world of the novel is something a little fantastic or a little implausible, and we have to do what's called suspending our disbelief. We have to go with it, right? We have to agree to believe in the premise of the story. And in some ways, getting to a oneness mindset is that. It's being willing to suspend our disbelief, to suspend our skepticism, to kind of consciously choose to make a cognitive shift, to say, okay, I'm going to look at the world this way, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to see how it feels. What if I look at the people in my life, even the ones I struggle with, as souls on a journey who have chosen to collaborate with me for our mutual benefit? What if I look at world events as sort of these collaborations between massive groups of people, between the earth, between the us and the cosmos? What if I trust that it's all unfolding the way it needs to, even if my human doesn't understand, and even if I have all these feelings, fears, whatever? So I encourage you to practice that, to just, when you can, try on, if you don't already do this, and maybe you do regularly, but just try on this perspective. Remind yourself you're a soul. Try driving your car as a soul. Honestly, this is a fun thing to do. I've done this, and it feels like suddenly like, oh, it's almost like I'm in a video game and I'm an avatar of myself, and this is this landscape that I've dropped down into, and now I have to navigate it. And there's like almost a rush of joy or fun or excitement or wonder that can come with that. So I'm just encouraging you to think about that, to play with that, and to see how it feels. And I wish you, everybody watching this, much love, and thanks for watching. If you're interested in the work I'm doing, you can visit my website, bigpictureguidance.com. I also have another website, theasullivan.com. And by the way, I'll be shifting my work, my intuitive work, over to that domain, to theasullivan.com, in the coming months. So you can look for me at either place, or on Facebook at Big Picture Guidance with Thea Sullivan. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.